All right, welcome everyone to Get to Know webinar. Let's just start. Everyone else will join, and this meeting is also recorded, so people who weren't here from the beginning can always go back to the recording and watch the webinar from the beginning. So we have in our midst a very interesting guy. His name is Elvis Emezi, and he'll be taking us on what game development is all about. He's a game developer and a 3D asset designer also. So he'll be taking us through game development, and he has been designing games, different types of games, both mobile. I think he do 3D games also. Yes, he will just be telling you what goes into it, and if you feel like it's something you feel like going into, you can connect with him after the call. So yeah, so before I go, I just want to introduce to Academy for those who are joining our webinars for the first time. We normally have this webinar bi-weekly. So we did our first launch. We're going to have another webinar soon. And also Doma Academy is a community-based platform for people to learn courses by practicing. And we hold cohorts from time to time. We're going to hold another cohort around May, and it's going to be on just improving your skills on basic essential tech skills in web development, UI UX design, and data science. So with no further ado, Elvis, take the floor.
Okay. Let me just share my screen. Okay. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, please.
No.
Someone said no.
Okay, yes, I can see it.
Okay. Okay, so I'm sure we all know what games are, but let me just explain what they are. Games are basically structured type of fun activities we engage in, and video games are fun of interactive games, fun of interactive entertainment where you play around in like a virtual environment. So I'm just going to put you through like how games are made, and what all that goes into game development. So game development is the art of creating immersive digital worlds. So you're basically like a god. You set the rules for how people are meant to interact with whatever you're going to create in your virtual world. You're just going to try to make the world like entertaining for your users, so as to provide them with an immersive experience. So what does it mean to be a game developer? Game developers are problem solvers, and we kind of bring concepts to life using technical and artistic skills through programming, game mechanics, as well as designing visually appealing characters, as well as environments. Okay. The different roles in game development. So for one is programming. Programmers basically, what we do is we come up with the core game mechanics. Like let's say stuff like, I don't know if you guys have played Flappy Bird before. The like tapping game where you just tap and the bird like kind of floats and tries to maneuver through obstacles. I don't know if anybody has played that game. Okay.
Yes, I have.
Okay, so that's like a game mechanic. And these programmers that are in charge of writing the code that makes the bird kind of like move when the screen is tapped. That's kind of like a game mechanic example. And artists as well are game developers because they assist in designing the characters, the environment, as well as the assets that will be integrated into the game. Game designers come up with the rules. Let's say you hit or an enemy hits you like 3 times, and you die. That's like a rule that happens in the game, as well as coming up with level designs and as well as the experiences. Sound designers as well craft the audio. Someone's unmuted. I'm hearing someone's background. Okay.
Go on, you can go on.
Okay, so like we also have sound designers who craft sound effects that are integrated into the game. Like let's say a character with a sword now, when he like slashes, that sound you hear is sound designers that craft the sound that is put into the game. And last but not least, quality assurance testers, they continue playing the game that has been built, trying to break it, trying to find the bugs so that it will be reported back to like the programmers and they'll fix up the issue. So the tools that are used for game development, primarily we use game engines. Game engines are like tools that help simplify game development for us because game engines come with like physics calculations, colliders that basically make game development easy. If not, you would have to be coding or writing code for all those things from scratch. But game development come ready-made with all those physics calculations as well as calculations for like the colliders inbuilt. So the three popular game engines are Unity, Unreal, as well as Godot. I don't know if you guys have heard of any of them. Has anyone heard of either Unity or Unreal, or you should have like seen it in some games? You've heard of? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Unity and Unreal.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So these are the three popular ones. Godot is an open source game engine. Is up there with Unreal and Unity, but I don't really use this. I primarily use Unity. I attempted starting Unreal, but I just left it for Unity, sure. But it's still a good one. So after game engines, you have your IDE that you use to write your code that will then control the characters in the game. So personally, I use Visual Studio. I switched from Visual Studio Code. I think it was giving me some issues or something. I switched to Visual Studio for Unity. So I currently write C#. I've also written like that in the past using the Flame game engine for Flutter when I was building a particular game. So you also need IDEs for game development. Art tools. Okay, so these are the tools you use to create the visual aspects that will make the player engage. Like, okay, this Blender now is for creating, like, let's say 3D characters. Like, what 3D game? Okay, like Subway Surf. Subway Surf is a 3D game. So that character now, or those characters were modeled in a 3D software. People use Blender, people use Maya, people use Cinema 4D. They're all just 3D modeling software. So you can also use Photoshop if you're trying to create a 2D game, or you can also use Photopea. Is a free web version of Photoshop. So if you're trying to design like 2D games, just draw and export your images and then use it in the game engine. Audio tools, I use Audacity to create my sound effects, as well as version control. So this GitHub is used for kind of saving your work, saving your let's say your checkpoints as you progress in your development of your game. You need to like store it somewhere, and use GitHub I use to store my game online. Okay, so why choose game development as a career? So in game development, you have freedom to express yourself. You basically can create anything you want as long as it's fun. Just create anything you want and give it to people to play it. And there's always a weird kind of joy that comes with seeing people playing your game. It's always very nice. And it's in high demand. I think people have been playing games right from time. So I don't see the need for games dying out anytime soon. And he gets the opportunity to work on a variety of different projects, fun projects for that matter. Of course, I've worked on 2D games, 3D games, as well as virtual reality games, and they're all a lot of fun to work on. Okay, and potential for freelance and studio work. Yeah, you can also decide to be a freelancer or you can work with a company. Depends on you, depending on what you want. Okay, how to get started? You can always just start by looking at YouTube videos. You can start with C# because I would suggest you start with Unity Game Engine because that is the game engine that has the most resources out there in terms of learning. Learning resources for the Unity Game Engine are a lot compared to Unreal and Godot. So I would suggest starting with Unity Game Engine if you want to start learning game development. So once you get the basics down, you now move on to game design principles, learning how to make your game fun and all. Then start building projects, like small projects like Flappy Bird and Break Breaker. Then from there, you can just be joining game jams and online communities to like further your skills. So resources, like I said before, you can check YouTube. Some popular YouTubers like Brackeys, Black Tom Prods, and you can just check YouTube. Yeah, that's basically it. That's how I started actually. YouTube videos. I just practicing all the videos, like all the projects they have online, and finishing everything. From there, you can now start thinking of your own ideas and creating your own projects and your own games. Uh, okay, yeah. Game development is a trading journey of creativity, innovation, and growth. It's a path that's both challenging and rewarding, but with dedication and passion, you can bring your most imaginative ideas to life. And yeah, that's basically it. Any questions?
Does anyone have any questions? You can ask if there's anything there. Okay, I want to ask a
Hmm.
question. So, like, let's say you're a total beginner,
Yeah.
like, you want to like venture into game development, so just a beginner.
Hmm.
How you advise us to like go ahead, go on with that, like for a
Okay,
total
so total beginner, like starting from zero, nothing, like no knowledge at all.
beginner?
So I would advise you to start watching YouTube videos on C# programming and Unity. I'll start by videos on how to install Unity as well as the other applications required to develop a game. That's you need Unity, you need VS Code, you need GitHub. I would start with videos to install those applications first. Then I would now start watching videos on how to create a small game project like Flappy Bird. That's how I would start. That's what I would advise you to do if you're just starting from like nothing.
All right, guys. So that's a question for Elvis.
Yeah, are there any?
We're made to believe that the programs like Python, Java, and all stuff can also be used for game to write or design games. My question is, I know C is the hardcore or C++ the hardcore programs, and they are designed for this kind of machine-related interrelated stuff. So, but is there still the chance of the little we know with Java and Python influencing our system or aiding the how to become to hasten or help the parts, to fasten the parts? Is there any way those things can help us, the Python and the JavaScript? We need to know about them.
I would say once you have a basic understanding of programming, you can always just switch to any language easily. In my opinion, once you have the basics down, you can always just switch and move to C#, C++, anyone you want. And from there, you can now start working on whatever game you want to build.
Can I just add? Those have tried C, and addressing, managing address, managing all these memory, Stack Overflow, and all those stuff. I see that there are a lot of difference, you understand? So the only thing is I'm just looking for an easy way out. So, but the thing is, I think we just have to learn C or C++. Is that what you're saying?
I currently use C#. C++ is for Unreal, it's just C# I use currently. But what I'm saying is, with your basics in programming, you can switch to any language. It just takes time to learn. I don't feel it's that difficult. If you just put in time, you can pick it up easily after a while.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. So, for people who are looking for like a way to practice, like a way to let's say web developers and stuff like that, all we advise them to do to be able to like practice making games. Like, is there any other thing you need to know apart from what you mentioned, like in terms of understanding how games are made?
Is there really any? Okay, outside what I've said, not really. I think I basically said it all. You just need a game engine and your standard IDE, and just some time to learn, to improve your skills, and just learn the basics of game dev. Yeah, that's all you really need, though. Just time. It's not something you just wake up and learn instantly. It takes time. So you just be patient and put in the time and learn. That's all.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have a question? For those who are just joining us, Elvis took us through the fundamentals of game development. Like as a beginner, what you need to know about the game industry and every other stuff. He talked about every single stuff. Just a brief overview of what you need to know when it comes to game development. So Elvis, as he mentioned here, he works on different types of games, both 2D and 3D games, and also virtual reality games. So Elvis, if someone wants to get in contact with you to like talk with you, how would they reach you?
Okay, you can reach me through I think my email or my Instagram. I think the 3D cookie, D_3D_cookie on Instagram. I think you just see a red face with like a smile, a red icon. Yeah, that's the name.
All right. Thank you for the class. It's kind of like a brief one. Thanks for keeping it brief. For those who weren't part of the when we all started this thing, the recording of the class, this class is recorded, so the recording of the class will be made available very soon. So you can go through recording and you just get a glimpse of what we covered. But thanks Elvis for taking us through tonight's class. It's quite a quick one and really grateful for all you've been able to cover. For those interested in learning about game development, I think he will also be sharing his slides with us, the slides he shared. So we're able to like look through those slides and the resources that are there also able to pick it up. Elvis, do you have anything to leave us with before you go?
Okay, I would say game development is actually a fulfilling career path. Like there's a special kind of joy that comes with seeing people play your games. So I would say, yeah, just if you're interested, start now, start working, start building your fun games and share with your friends. Share with me as well. I'd like to see what you guys come up with when you guys start building games. So yeah, that's all I would like to say.
All right, thank you very, very much, Elvis. Thank you for your time. Thanks everyone for being a part of this webinar. We're going to have another webinar just very soon. Nobody would do it in 2 weeks interval, but this was the only period I could actually get with the speaker. So he'll be talking in depth about mobile development. We're supposed to have a class last week, but he was unavailable. So we're going to have it this coming week on Wednesday. So anticipate that if you're interested in mobile development then you could also be a member of our group. So I'm going to just put a link to the WhatsApp group. So in anything we have activities, events, or any stuff you need to be a part of, or resources also share from time to time on our group. So just in case you're not part of Dome Academy's group, you can be part of it. I also paste the website there. We have a free course, Introduction to GitHub, for GitHub for beginners, Git and GitHub for beginners. So if you're a developer and you want to venture into code, Git and GitHub are very important skills to learn. I might even have to share my screen to show you what the course is all about. Just give me a moment. Okay. So this course is absolutely free on the platform. You can just register to join. So you're going to just learn the basics of Git, how to really work with Git and GitHub. And it's going to explain everything you need to know from start to bottom. There are videos and there are also coding examples added alongside with the videos and code snippets. So for you to work in, and there are also resource materials for you to use to learn. So yeah, you can enroll with it. A lot of people have enrolled and they're really reaping the benefits of the course. There are a lot of testimonies from it. So you can just enroll for it. It's absolutely free and just start learning on the platform. So yeah, that's it for everyone. Thanks for being a part. I'm just going to paste the link to this resource in case you're interested. You can look at the chat and be a part of it. Thanks for joining, everyone. Good night and see you in the next webinar. Yeah, so good night, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Good night.
Good night.